Women who had never been a prostitute couldn't tell you how to avoid the men. But a woman who made a living catering to men, she understood the mentality of men, she understood the ways of men, she understood the ways that they travel, and so she became a jewel to the men of God, though she was considered trash by the men of her city. Can I tell you something? You can always be redeemed with the right man. What that means is if someone is not valuing you, that's not your place. But what I love about Rahab is her state of being a prostitute did not disqualify her from her next place. What am I illuminating to the fabulous women today? Where you are has not, is not, and will not disqualify you from the place that God is taking you, provided you make a decision. At this place, Rahab could have remained loyal to men who did not value her, or she could have done what she did and made a pact with men who didn't care what she did, didn't care who she was. All they cared is you have something that we need. And if you're willing to work with us, we're willing to work with you. That's where you are today. In some area of your life, it's time to be at that place and say, you know what? I can't change the past. But what I do know is my past has qualified me for my next chapter. Because when you finish reading the story of Rahab, you understand that not only does Rahab help the men of God, but she actually ends up marrying one of their priests. And she ends up being an ancestor to Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
Don't miss what I just said.
Sorry.
Jesus comes out of her lineage. What is that saying to you? I don't care how messy your life has been, some glory can still come out of your lineage. Some glory can still come out of your life. Some purpose can still come out of your past. Something can come out of who you were and what you used to do. So there's no shame. So step number one in being fabulous is understanding I don't have any shame. I have ingredients that have made me purposeful. That's somebody's word right there. I have ingredients that have made me purposeful. I have things that have developed me. I have things I've gone through that has given me the wisdom that I need to get to my next chapter. Understand, Rahab had a wisdom that no other woman had. So you might have a story that nobody else has had, but you also have a wisdom that nobody else has. You also have knowledge, you have insight, you have a history. You have something that no one else has, and that's every woman's story in this room. Team No Shame. Somebody needs to hashtag that, Team No Shame. You cannot embarrass me over anything that God has allowed or anything that God has used to fashion me, because it has made me who I am today, and it's making me who I shall become. That's how you become fabulous. You own your journey. You own your story. You own every ingredient that God allowed and everything that God used. So what? You didn't grow up in a two-parent household. God can use that too, because now you can minister to someone else who's been exactly where you've been. But the reality of it is, if you're not careful, social media will have you glamorizing your wonderful life. And so people can't connect to you. All they can do is look at you and admire you. But then you wonder, why am I so miserable? Because God said there will be no other gods beside me. And when you begin to try and hide your story and you want to look like you're so wonderful, you want to look like you're so perfect, you're literally setting yourself up to be an idol to somebody. And then you wonder why you fall. And then you wonder why things don't work out. Because God is trying to get you to be real, to be honest about what your journey has been. What have you been through? That's one of the reasons why Jesus had to be crucified publicly. Because when you can't resurrect until you get over being ashamed. Amen. It's one of the first things that has to be stripped if you're going to go to your next level. We've all had ups and downs. We've all had things we've had to overcome. We've all had journeys. We've all had mishaps. We've all had something, but it's that something that becomes your special ingredient. Somebody say special ingredient. Special ingredient. You might have pain, but you also have purpose. You might have been through something, but you're going somewhere. And that's what Rahab comes to show us. She was able to help the men because of who she was and everything that she had been through. one of the things that I do quite frequently back home in the States, and I want us to do it now, is I want everybody to stand. This one you can't do sitting down. But I really want to minister to the women very quickly. Because this is a take-home sermon. Somebody say a take-home sermon. Take-home sermon. You're going to be working it on your ride back to the house. But I want you to get your most painful, shameful, embarrassing memory in your mind. You know, the thing that you just hate, like, Lord, why? You know, I could have been, you know, married with 8 children by now had that not happened. Had I not endured that in my childhood, had I not, things for me would have been so much different. I want you to get that thought in your mind. Why do you want us to get that thought? Because if you can ever get through that, your life is on the other side. And so this is the place that you get it in your head. And not only do you get it in your head, but I want you to take a leap of faith and do something that needs to be done. I want you for the first time to say, you know what, God? By faith, I'm going to praise you for what happened. Bible says that faith pleases God. And if you can start praising God for the thing that just seems like you shouldn't be praising God for, something very powerful is going to happen. He's going to begin to reveal to you today, over the next week, over the next month. He's going to begin to reveal to you what can come from that. A book, an organization, a conference, you going back to school to get your next degree. Something can come from that, but nothing can come from what you're still mad at. Nothing can come from what you're still allowing to paralyze you. At the place that an opportunity to change her life showed up, Rahab flowed. She helped the men immediately. She didn't say, well, I'm a prostitute. You know who I am? Maybe you shouldn't be talking to me. Maybe try somebody else. She jumped into who she was to help out with where she was. That's a word for somebody today. Jump into who you are to help out where you are right now. Somebody is saying, I hate my job, but I want to start a new business. But how many of you know your business might need the coaching business that needs to launch? Once you get over the hurt, now you can coach somebody else. That's what you have to do. I want everybody to take about 30 seconds. Just get that thought in your mind.